December the 30th, 1916, a frozen body floats beneath the ice of the Neva River in St. Petersburg. When they pull him from the water, the autopsy reveals something impossible. This man had been poisoned with enough cyanide to kill 5 men. When that didn't work, he was shot in the chest. When he still wouldn't die, he was shot in the head, beaten, and finally, thrown into the freezing river. The cause of death, drowning. He was still alive. His name was Grigori Rasputin, and this is the story history tried to erase. Grigori Yefimovich Rasputin was born in 1869 in Pokrovskoye, a small village in Siberia. He was a peasant, illiterate, unremarkable, but Rasputin claimed to have visions. He spoke of God, of prophecy, of mystical powers. By his 30s, he had transformed himself into a wandering holy man, a starets, traveling across Russia, gathering followers with his piercing blue eyes and magnetic presence. In 1903, he arrived in St. Petersburg, the capital of the Russian Empire, and somehow, this Siberian peasant would soon hold the fate of the Romanov dynasty in his hands. The key to his rise was tragedy. Tsar Nicholas II and Tsarina Alexandra had finally been blessed with a son and heir, Alexei. But the boy suffered from hemophilia, a genetic disorder where blood cannot clot. A simple bruise could kill him. The best doctors in Russia could do nothing. Alexandra was desperate, and that's when Rasputin appeared. In 1905, Rasputin was introduced to the royal family. Alexei was having a bleeding crisis. Death seemed certain. Rasputin entered the room, placed his hands on the boy, and prayed. The bleeding stopped. How he did this remains a mystery. Some historians believe he used hypnosis to calm the boy, reducing his blood pressure. Others think he simply told the doctors to stop giving Alexei aspirin, which thins the blood. But to Alexandra, it was a miracle. Rasputin had saved her son's life. From that moment, she believed he was a gift from God, and Rasputin knew it. He became the Tsarina's most trusted advisor. When the Tsar went to war, leaving Alexandra in charge, Rasputin's influence exploded. He recommended political appointments. He influenced military decisions. A Siberian peasant was essentially running the Russian Empire. But there was a dark side to the holy man. While preaching spirituality to the Tsarina, Rasputin spent his nights in a very different way. He drank heavily. He visited brothels. Witnesses described wild parties, orgies, and behavior that scandalized St. Petersburg society. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some claimed he was sleeping with the Tsarina herself. Others said he was a German spy, sabotaging Russia during World War I. The truth didn't matter. The Russian people believed it. Russia was collapsing. Millions were dying in the war. Food was scarce. And the man closest to the throne was a drunken peasant mystic. The nobility had had enough. A group of nobles, led by Prince Felix Yusupov, formed a plan. They would save Russia by eliminating the one man they believed was destroying it. They would kill Rasputin. On the night of December the 30th, 1916, Prince Yusupov invited Rasputin to his palace on the pretext of meeting his wife. In the basement, a table was set with wine and cakes. Both were laced with massive amounts of potassium cyanide, enough to kill a man 5 times over. Rasputin ate the cakes, drank the wine, and nothing happened. He asked for more. Yusupov panicked. He excused himself, ran upstairs to the other conspirators, and grabbed a revolver. He returned to the basement and shot Rasputin in the chest. Rasputin collapsed. The conspirators checked for a pulse. He was dead. They went upstairs to plan disposal of the body. But when Yusupov returned to the basement, Rasputin's eyes opened. Rasputin lunged at Yusupov, grabbed him by the throat, and screamed. He broke free and staggered outside into the courtyard. The conspirators chased him. Vladimir Purishkovich shot Rasputin twice more, once in the kidney, and once in the head. Rasputin finally fell, but they still weren't sure he was dead. They beat him with clubs, wrapped his body in a carpet, tied him up, and threw him into the freezing Neva River through a hole in the ice. 3 days later, they found his body. The autopsy revealed the impossible truth. There was water in Rasputin's lungs. He had drowned. After the poison, after the gunshots, after the beating, Rasputin had still been alive when they threw him into the river. Somehow, the man had freed one of his hands from the ropes. He had tried to claw his way out from under the ice. The mad monk had fought death until the very last second. Alexandra insisted on a proper burial, but just weeks later, the Russian Revolution erupted. The Romanov dynasty fell. The Tsar and his family were executed. Revolutionaries dug up Rasputin's body and burned it. They wanted to erase him from history, but they couldn't erase the mystery. Who was Grigori Rasputin? A holy man, a charlatan, a demon. Before his death, he allegedly wrote a letter predicting his own murder and the fall of the Romanovs. It came true. To this day, historians debate whether he was Russia's savior or its destroyer. What we know for certain is this: Rasputin was a man who defied death itself, and his story is one that history tried and failed to erase. If you want more stories from the shadows of history, subscribe to the Erased Archive. We uncover the mysteries the world tried to forget. New videos every week.